This is Clare Walters, and she has been a divorce coach for 7 years. What sort of issues do people bring to you, Clare?
Well, there's a huge variety because it depends what stage of the divorce process people are at. But very often they're still in a state of shock, actually anguish. So the sort of things they come in with are, oh my God, I'm never going to get over this. I'm going to have to do anything I can to get him back. Or I'm going to have to screw him for everything he's got. Or men can think that someone else is going to be taking over parenting of their child, and that can cause them a huge amount of pain. Or just not knowing how they're going to cope or how they're going to get through, and just in various states of grief, really. Yeah. What can you do to help then? Well, what I first do is listen, obviously, and give them a chance to be heard by someone who hasn't got an agenda. So I'm just there to listen. And then I can teach them a tool to help them get calm so they can make rational, considered decisions that they're going to be glad of in the long term, not ones they're going to regret in the long term because they're acting from their emotional state, but they're coming from a sound, steady place when they can go forward through the divorce. Yeah. And is it only women that come to you? Actually, I see more men than women. Wow. Actually, I think women are quite often having their own network of people, whereas men, it tends to be less. I mean, you shouldn't generalise, but I think very often it's the first time they've been able to really talk about how it's affecting them. So what got you into this work, Clare? Well, a lot of it I learned the hard way. I went through a very difficult divorce myself and made a lot of mistakes that I really regret now. And I do think if I'd had someone independent to help me really get my thoughts straight and support me emotionally, I could have made better decisions. So, you know, it was difficult. I was having to support myself and my 4 children through a difficult time. And when your friends are giving you advice that's not really solicited and they're not really helpful, it's very difficult to navigate your way. So to have someone help you just get clear about what's really important to you and just really be a sounding board and help you with those decisions is incredibly useful. And do you work on your own? No, I do sometimes. It depends how people come to me. But I am part of a network of something called Dovetail Divorce. And we're a group of people. There's lawyers, mediators, financial advisors and divorce coaches. And we all have the same ethos, and that is to get you through it as amicably as possible. So we all help you, obviously, get a good outcome, but to keep it out of court if at all possible and keep the children at the heart of things and just support you to do it in a constructive way rather than get into a cat fight which doesn't really serve anybody. How do people know if you can help them? Really, if they are struggling with the relationship, because I do relationship coaching as well, and obviously if there's any hope of getting you back together, then that's what we can work towards and just see what your patterns are, what's causing you to be unhappy or fighting, and help you get back on an even keel. Or if it has come to the end of the road and you're looking to a divorce, or even you're partway through divorce, or even after a divorce. Because very often people go through the process almost so focused on the process. It's only afterwards they start dealing with the emotional side of things and realising what they've let go, or, you know, just help them really get into a good place to start creative, a positive future. So you support people through the divorce process, but you also support people that may think about breaking up, but actually they feel as though there's still some love there to work on. Is that? And I would say if there's any hope, then give it a go first, because it's not an easy thing to do to divorce. Obviously the consequences are long-ranging and long-term. So I would say, first of all, let's see if there's any hope of salvaging. But obviously if you're clear that there is no hope, then we can look at the best way of divorcing. And I can bring in professionals that I know and trust that will help you in a constructive way to get through. So is there any tips that you can give anybody about if they're in that process now? Well, the thing that I so often hear and is something that can really help people with really readily is people thinking that she shouldn't have done this and she ought to know how I'm feeling and she needs to come to her senses and she's not being herself and what she's going through or he's going through and how could he do this to me. None of these thoughts are helpful. because actually it's happened, and while you're obsessing about that, you're giving your power away. You're kind of not focusing on what is in your control, which is how can you deal with it, what support have you got, and how can you get through this. So I always say bring the attention back to yourself and think constructively. So thank you very much for watching. I am Clare Walters, and I'm a divorce coach. I work throughout Yorkshire and the South East. So if you think I can help you, either with relationship issues or as you go through the divorce process, then please get in touch and we can have a chat and see if I am someone who can help you. You can go to my website, which is Clare Walters, that's Clare without an I, .co.uk. There you'll find my phone number and my email address. So use whichever the mode is best for you, and I'll get in touch and we can arrange to have a chat and then take it from there. Thank you.